The MG G50 Max PHEV was previewed at the recently concluded 2026 Manila International Auto Show. And now we've gotten our hands on the real deal right here. So now we can check what's new on this 7-seater MPV. I am Cesar Miguel for Zigwheels Philippines, and join us to check out what's new on the MG G50 Max PHEV. Now, the biggest change on the PHEV version of the G50 is probably found on its front fascia. So you can see it has been heavily revamped to have a more modern appeal. Key on the look of the front fascia of the G50 is the fact that they separated the LED daytime running lights from the main headlamp clusters. On the previous version, it was more like a headlamp cluster where the DRLs were integrated with the main headlamps. And of course, being a hybrid, plug-in hybrid, it now uses a more closed-off look. And below the plate holder is a front-facing camera. Farther below that, interestingly enough, is a chrome-lined lip which wraps around towards the sides of the vehicle. For the side profile of the vehicle, not much has changed, but it retains its high-rise window line with generously spaced windows, large doors for easy ingress and egress, and its overall shape is retained as well. The design of the 17-inch alloy wheels on this MPV, however, was revised to a more uniform look with a flatter design. It only comes in one color, and by the looks of it, it's aerodynamic. But how about the rear? Let's check it out. For the rear, of course, the PHEV badge is new. Apart from the PHEV badge, MG also added the Max badge just below the G50. MG opted to give the G50 PHEV a new power tailgate, which makes it more practical and usable for people who are always on the go. Cargo-wise, it's very spacious. MG says it has the largest trunk in the segment. And of course, the rear seats can be folded down. Now we've seen what's new on the exterior of the MG G50 PHEV. Let's check out its interior. Now we're here inside the front cabin of the MG G50 Max PHEV, and immediately what I can notice that's new inside this car is the dual 12.3-inch digital displays. Previously, the gauge cluster of this model was analog with a little tiny multi-info display in the middle, but now MG opted to give it more digital screens, and of course that helps in legibility, mas clear mag-convey na information to the driver. And also new is the fact that it now has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto that is coupled with its wireless charging pad for your smartphone. Apart from that, it also has a Type A and Type C charging port and a 12-volt accessory outlet. Overall, very convenient, and it can address all your driving needs. For the driver, it seems that MG refined the cockpit feel, especially with the steering wheel. The previous one came with somewhat of PVC-like material, but now it looks and feels more like leather. And of course, buttons still feels fit and right. The faux wood, which is described as ash, makes its return, and it is topped off by a soft leather-wrapped section here that's spread around the dash and towards the interior door cards. Of course, the ash part is also on the interior door cards. For my fit, whether I fit here or not, it's quite comfortable just like before. Finding one's position is easy thanks to electronic adjustability. Legroom is generous and headroom is very generous as well. The biggest addition probably to the interior is the panoramic sunroof, which is power actuatable for its shader and for the actual roof itself. That's an excellent value for money piece right there. For safety-wise, as expected, it's the passive kit of the G50 Max PHEV, its usual safety kit, is up to par with modern MPVs. But what's new is a whole advanced driver assist suite. Specifically, its ADAS suite consists of adaptive cruise control, forward collision warning, autonomous emergency braking, lane departure warning, and lane keeping assist. Apart from the front seat, what's new at the back? Let's check it out. Here on the second row of the new MG G50 Max PHEV are two captain seats, just like the previous top spec version of the G50. It also has a third row, but I won't be sitting there to test it, whether I fit or not, because I'm sure I won't fit. Going back to the captain seats, this is my driving position, my preferred driving position, and legroom is alright. Feet room is quite cramped though. Headroom, on the other hand, is quite generous, and of course, there is much room to play here when it comes to elbow room. Also, there's a lot of toys to work around with here in the rear. My dedicated lighting in this corner, my vents are positioned here. Meanwhile, the controls of the rear AC vents are right here. It has dedicated buttons. Also found below those buttons is a Type A USB port and a 12-volt accessory outlet. Going back to the seats themselves, they have sliding adjustability and an adjustable backrest. Also a folding armrest. If you really like space though and would like to maximize the sliding part of this seat, you would be sacrificing legroom for the ones in the back. Now that we've checked out the interior of the MG G50 Max PHEV, let's do a deep dive on the engine specification. Probably the biggest improvement on the new MG G50 Max PHEV is of course its engine. As hinted at by its name, it's already a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, and now it combines a 1.5 liter gasoline engine with electric motors. Previously, the internal combustion only G50 used a turbocharged 1.5 liter. For its transmission, it now uses a single-speed dedicated hybrid gearbox that affords it a smoother drive, according to MG, more efficient, smoother drive. And of course, being a PHEV, it has an all-electric range which can cover up to 95 kilometers. But in total, MG says the G50 Max PHEV has a total combined range of over 1,400 kilometers. And being a PHEV, it also has all the usual EV stuff you find on other PHEV models nowadays, like adjustable regenerative braking systems. You can adjust for how much force it can provide you, stopping force. It also has a vehicle to load feature which can be used to power small gadgets, maybe tools, stuff like that. So there you have it, all the new features and specifications of the new MG G50 Max PHEV. First look pa lang to na video, but if you want a full-on review of this car, stay tuned, subscribe, and like. This has been Cesar Miguel for Zigwheels Philippines. Like and subscribe for more.